you need to get down before it gets dark, the bear's coming out.
No.
We could just hear like these bears in the distance.
No. It was meant to be 6 months, but ended up being 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I thought mango sticky rice was a breakfast dish. So
It's not.
what
is it?
It's a dessert, right?
Oh. Welcome back to Departure Lounge by Kilroy Travel. I'm Eliza, and today I'm joined by Natalia, a personal trainer in Bristol, but also the founder of Travels with Talia and Bristol Gym Girls. In today's episode, we're going to get to know Natalia a bit more, find out how travel's been a big part of her life, and also talk about her upcoming trip to Morocco in April. For anyone who doesn't know you, Natalia, please introduce yourself.
So my name's Natalia, and I'm a personal trainer in Bristol, and I'm a big love of travel. I spent 8 years living in Southeast Asia, and then I moved back to Bristol, I think it was 3 years ago. And yeah, travel's just been a big part of my life, and I really want to encourage more women to travel and explore the world.
So when you say you lived in Southeast Asia for 8 years, tell me about that. Where were you living?
So it was supposed to just be 6 months. I trained at the Royal Academy.
It was meant to be 6 months, but ended up being 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I trained at the Royal Academy of Dance to become a ballet teacher, and then I went to Sri Lanka because I had some friends who lived out there, and just went to visit them and sort of see what it'd be like to teach in Sri Lanka, and then just fell in love with the country, ended my relationship with the guy I was seeing in Bristol, and then decided to stay in Sri Lanka for, it was about 4 years, and had the time of my life. And then after 4 years sort of got itchy feet, and is that the face? Itchy feet?
I got itchy feet.
I
felt an itch.
I felt like I wanted to see more of the world, so then I applied for some jobs to see where else I could teach, and Thailand came up, so then I decided to move to Thailand, and then I lived there for 4 years. One of the reasons I became a ballet teacher is because I knew that it's a good way to travel the world, because there are loads of like ballet teaching jobs all over the world. So I sort of knew in the back of my mind that as soon as I graduated, I would move abroad.
I didn't even realise that ballet was that big of a thing in other countries besides the UK, because I mean, I was just kind of thrown into ballet when I was younger. I feel like most girls are just kind of thrown into ballet.
Yeah. So the syllabus that I taught was the Royal Academy of Dance syllabus, and that's known in, I mean, back then, I think it was known in 52 different countries, but it must be more now. Yeah, in the school I taught at in Sri Lanka, there were 600 students in the school, so it was very popular. I still teach a little bit. I teach Silver Swans, which is ballet for seniors. But in terms of like going back teaching full time, not right now, but maybe like in the future if I had like a family or something like that. It's quite a harsh world to be in. I think that's also why I stepped away from it, because there are lots of still like unhealthy habits, and I think most schools it's like developed a lot in terms of how they teach the children, and they sort of take into account their mental health.
I think that's why it surprised me that you were so into the ballet, because I find that I do think ballet as something so like, I don't want to say strict, but kind of like that. And then gym, I feel, is very like body positive. Everyone belongs at the gym.
Because of the experience I had as a ballet dancer and like the critiquing on my body. I remember when I was 13 and I'd just hit puberty.
Yeah.
And I came back after summer and I'd developed like a slight like lower sort of belly pouch, which was like very normal, but my ballet teacher came up to me and like poked me in the stomach and was like, oh, someone's been eating too many cakes over summer. So I think that's kind of shaped me to be the personal trainer that I am today. And because I just want to help empower women to, you know, build strength and learn to appreciate and respect their bodies.
Yeah. Were you living when you lived in Sri Lanka?
In Colombo. So in the capital, but then I did a lot of travelling around the country because, as I'm sure you know, it is a beautiful country with so much to see.
Where were you living in Thailand?
So I was living in Chiang Mai in the north,
nice.
But I also spent a lot of time on Koh Phangan, one of the islands down south. I actually got stuck there during lockdown. Went down there to have like a little holiday and get away from, I don't know if you know, there's like burning season in Chiang Mai when the pollution gets really bad.
That's when they like burn all the crops, right?
It's getting earlier and earlier every year, but it started in like January time, and then it gets really bad towards April.
So it's really like hazy and bad, bad air, right?
Yeah, really bad. So a lot of the people who live there travel down south and just spend time on the beach. So that's what I did. So I went down to Koh Phangan, and then that's when COVID hit and the world sort of shut down. Yeah. And I had the choice to decide if I wanted to stay on Koh Phangan or go back up to Chiang Mai because the pollution was so bad. I just decided to go for it and just stay, and then ended up being on Koh Phangan for, I think it was about 4 months.
When you were there then, were you like staying in a hostel the whole time?
No, I actually was living my best life because the whole world shut down and there's obviously no tourists there.
Yeah.
All the villas on the island, like they needed people to stay in them, and the rates were really cheap. So I was living in these like luxury villas. I think it was like I was spending something like £1,000 for a month staying in this like 4-bed villa with an infinity pool. Yeah, I became really delusional after that because I thought, this is going to be my life now. I'm just going to be living in a villa, but realised it's actually very expensive.
Can you see yourself living abroad again?
Yeah, it's a question I ask myself every day.
But you've just bought a house.
Yeah, I just bought a house, so I think, I'm going to have Bristol as my base, but I would love to sort of escape the winter and go explore the rest of the world. I did actually go back to Thailand 2 winters ago just to see my friends over there, and that was really beautiful, but also it was quite hard because the last time I was in Thailand, like I said, was during COVID, so it was very different, and when I went back 2 years ago, it was just so busy, so many tourists, and it's become so much more popular now, same as Sri Lanka. So I think I want to keep exploring new places because when you try to like recreate what you had, and it's not the same.
In terms of the culture shock then, coming back to the UK after like living away for 8 years, how did you feel when you came back to the UK?
I came back for Christmas to see my family because I really missed them, but other than that I was just over there, and they came to visit me as well, which is nice. My friends would come out, so but it was a massive culture shock coming back to England. I actually got really depressed for like 2 years, probably like the worst 2 years of my life, but something beautiful came out of that because I was depressed, and I realised I needed to sort of turn things around and improve like my life here in Bristol. That's how Bristol Gym Girls started.
Amazing.
Because I really wanted to just find some friends and do fun things in Bristol because I realised there were fun things to do, and that sort of helped me get out of my depression.
Yeah. Tell me more about Bristol Gym Girls.
So I'd moved back to England. I then got into a relationship and I wasn't very happy in that relationship. It wasn't really very good for me. So I came out of that relationship and was quite isolated and didn't really know anyone in Bristol. So then I think I put do you know Bristol Girl, the Facebook group?
Yeah, I think I'm in that Facebook group.
It's got like thousands, and so I think I posted in the group, being like, oh, does anyone like want to go for a walk with me, and who's interested in like the gym? And a few like loads of girls replied saying, yeah, I'd be interested, and then from there, Bristol Gym Girls was formed, and just met loads of like-minded women, and we did loads of like different activities together. We went on hikes, went swimming, explored all like the cute cafes in Bristol.
How has sort of the community then that you've built with Bristol Gym Girls sort of like developed in like the last 2 years?
So the first meetup, there were just 5 of us, and we went for a walk around Blaise Castle, and then it just sort of grew and grew. Like the more events I did, the more women came along. And now we have a community. There's nearly 2,000 on Instagram. We've got about 200 in the WhatsApp group, and it's just grown into this beautiful community. There's loads of different friendships that have formed. Lots of girls sort of hang out outside of the Bristol Gym Girl events. They've like made their own friendship groups, which is so nice to see. And we've done so much, from like self-defense workshops, going to the Lake District, and then more sort of local, just exploring saunas and cold plunges and that sort of thing.
What does travel mean to you?
So travel to me means freedom and adventure. I think I feel the most free when I'm traveling, when I'm exploring the world. I think it also helps you to put things into perspective. You know, sometimes when you're just staying in the same city and you're in the same routine, and then like little things start to irritate you that really shouldn't be irritating you, and then you realise you go abroad and you go explore another country and you realise it's actually not that deep. It's just so much of the world to explore and to appreciate. I think it helps you to be more grateful for life.
100%. After I come back from travelling, I'm also like the most zen I've ever been, and things don't bother me. I'm like back and I'm like, oh well, that's late, or this happened. I'm like, it's all good.
My friend always says at the end of the day, we're just on a big floating rock.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Do you have any sort of unpopular opinions when it comes to travel?
In terms of preparing, and if I'm going somewhere new, I don't like to research the place too much, and I don't like to look at photos or videos of where I'm going, because I don't want to like spoil the surprise. I know that some people really love to just like research as much as possible and make sure they're going to like the best restaurant and location, but I find that I I'd rather just sort of go with the flow and see what happens and like speak to locals and not to look at not to research it too much like on TikTok or that sort of thing, because I just want it to be a surprise.
I definitely agree with you on that. I think the best things happen. Obviously, it's good to have like a rough plan what you're doing, but the best sort of moments definitely happen when there's like an element of spontaneity involved. In terms of like how you avoid that then, because obviously everyone's posting their trips and top 5 things to do. How are you not spoiling it for yourself when everyone's out there doing these things and posting it online?
Yeah, it is getting harder and harder, but I'd say I just try not to go into like a hole of just like researching. Yeah. So maybe like one place will come up and I'll be like, oh, I really want to visit there. But then like I'll just write it down, like that's it. And I think even with Morocco, like we have a plan, we have an itinerary, but there's also like lots of space within the trip to also explore.
How do you feel like social media is changing the way that people travel these days? Because like you said, like there's so much online in terms of like people's itineraries and trips, and I do feel that a lot of people's trips now do revolve a lot around content. Do you find that, being someone who, you know, posts on socials, you know, starting up your travel sort of venture?
It has like pros and cons. Obviously it's great because it's encouraging more people to explore the world and to go to different places, and it can benefit like the tourism of all these different countries. But then at the same time, it does mean that there's like overcrowding and like if you find like a beautiful spot that's really quiet and, you know, hasn't been touched that much by people, and someone posts that online and then it can ruin it, like ruin the magic of it. So yeah, I think it's a difficult one, and I think it's like travel is obviously not how it used to be for like our parents or like grandparents when they were just you know, didn't have phones or internet.
Honestly, since TikTok, since COVID, that's when it's really taken over. What is a hidden gem now? Because again, like with social, like nothing's really a hidden gem. When people post like hidden gems and stuff, and then people are in the comments like, you shouldn't post this. I'm like, guys, chill.
I think people can become quite possessive.
They
like,
do. They gatekeep.
Places.
People gatekeep places.
I guess it just depends on the impact that it's going to have on like the environment or, you know, the people, the locals. So you just have to take all of that into consideration. I think as long as if like you personally are a responsible tourist, so like when you're exploring these places, you're being like respectful and you're like clearing up after yourself and that sort of thing. But I think if it encourages loads of people to be attracted to one location and they're not respecting the environment, then that's what causes problems. So yeah, it's a hard one to monitor, I guess. Yeah.
What's your favourite meal that you've ever had whilst being abroad?
First of all, favourite cuisine, Thai, like without a doubt. Have you had khao soi? So it's famous in the north, it's a northern Thai dish, and it's like this creamy, noodly soup with then crispy noodles on top, and then you got like pickles, and it's just so good.
So mine's also Thai as well, but it's actually just the first time I ever tried mango sticky rice.
Ooh, yeah, I did.
It was like the crazy. I was like, what is happening? Like, I've never. It sounds weird. Why would I want sticky rice? And also, I didn't really like rice pudding in the UK. I remember at school they'd always give me a tray and I'd have rice pudding on it and like a couple of chocolate buttons. You remember, like, you used to get those like trays, and there would just be like gloopy gruel like from Oliver Twist. And then I had mango sticky rice and I was like, this is actually the best thing I've ever tried in my life. And then I became obsessed.
When I moved to Thailand, and I was like trying to find something for breakfast. I didn't realise. I thought mango sticky rice was a breakfast dish. So
is it not?
What is it? It's a dessert, right? So like every morning,
it's an every time of the day dessert.
Every morning I was having mango sticky rice, and then my like Thai friends were like, "Yeah, no, that's not breakfast. That's a dessert." Okay, just having dessert for breakfast.
It's got fruit on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on. What about your best travel story then?
I would say I went to Poland with my sister. We went hiking in Poland, which was incredible. And so we did this like really, really long hike. I think we were hiking for like 6 hours. And we got to the top and you could take one of those like gondolas down, like ski lifts. But we got to the top and we were like, oh, we don't really feel that tired. Like we want to feel exhausted by the end of this hike. So we were like, let's hike down instead of getting the sort of, gondola down. And it was starting to get dark and we didn't realise, but the hike back down was going to take us like 2 or 3 hours, and it was like 5 o'clock in the evening. It gets dark at 7. We were the only ones going down the path, and we could hear this like noise in the distance. I was like, "Rah!"
Oh no.
And then this guy was like running down behind us, and he was like, "You need to get down before it gets dark. The bear's coming out."
No.
We could just hear like these bears in the distance.
No.
Honestly, I've never felt so afraid in my life.
No.
We were literally like power walking, like half running down this really steep hill. But we made it. We were fine, and we got there just as it was getting dark.
That's really scary.
Yeah, but
that's actually horrible. I had the fear of you saying that. You can hear the bears growling.
We literally hear the bears in the distance. We were like, what is that? And yeah, this Polish guy was like, yeah, they're bears.
So your newest venture, Travels with Talia. Tell me a little bit about that and what you plan to do with this community.
Obviously, I had the Bristol Gym Girl community, which is a beautiful community and helped me to connect with loads of wonderful women in Bristol. And one thing that I realised through doing that was that I love going on adventures and exploring, not just in Bristol but also outside of Bristol, and a big part of my life is travelling. And I kind of forgot about that over the last few years, I think because I was settling back into UK life. And yeah, so I was just having conversations with my therapist about how travel is such a big part of my identity, and I want to include more of that into my life, and that's how Travel with Talia came about. So I just wanted to really share that passion with other women, and not just women in Bristol, but like women all over the world, because I've lived all over the world and I have like lots of connections. I think it'd be really nice to be able to create these group trips, because I think, like, for me, I'm single, and whilst I enjoy traveling on my own and I feel comfortable doing that, it is more fun when you do it with friends or when you do it with, you know, you meet new people. So I really wanted to create a community where women can travel the world but feel that sort of safety of the group and have the opportunity to meet different women from all over the world.
Yeah. And your trip that's happening in April 2027, that's going to Morocco. Have you been to Morocco before?
I've been to Morocco. It was a couple of years ago now. It was actually for my mum's 60th. So I went with my family and my partner at the time. But it was when I was struggling and was not in a very good place, and yeah, I just wasn't really there. I wasn't really present on the trip. So as much as I loved Morocco, I feel like I didn't really make the most of it. I'd love to go back and actually really experience it and experience more of it.
For anyone who's listening, who may be thinking that they want to join the trip, what's one piece of advice or one thing you would say to them?
I would say that if you're thinking about it, even just a little bit, but there's maybe like a bit of fear there, or you're not sure, I think that is a sign to just go for it. Because all of the decisions that I've made in the past about whether it's moving to a country or traveling, I've never felt 100% certain to do it. But looking back, like, all of those decisions that I've made have been the best decisions of my life. And I think that doing something that feels a little bit out of your comfort zone is so good for you.
100%.
And you just are just going to have such a great time.
That is such a big thing when it comes to travel. It's like, you never feel 100% ready for anything, and then if you keep putting it off, you're never going to feel ready. So you just need to go for it whilst like you can. People always say, oh, I'll go next year, I'll do it next year, I'll do it next year, and then it's like, oh well, it never happened, and you missed the opportunity. So I definitely think, like, do it while you can. No one ever feels 100% ready to do anything. Like you said, you moved to the other side of the world for 8 years, and even then you're like, am I ready for this? But you still did it anyway. So yeah, I 100% agree with that. And people say nothing grows within the comfort zone. Like, it's actually so true. And I feel like travel is that one thing which really, like, it gets you out your comfort zone like nothing else, because obviously you're just like thrown into like a completely different country and like you're having to navigate things. But honestly, that is where you like learn the most. You come back like genuinely like changed person. Did you feel like the person you, obviously it was 8 years difference as well, but the person who you were when you left compared to the person you came back, did you feel like you changed so much, and like those experiences really like shaped you and changed you as a person?
Yeah, definitely. And I've been looking back through lots of old photos because I've been creating content for this trip, and when I look back at the photos of when I first moved to Sri Lanka, I'm like, oh, baby Natalia, like, she was so young and naive. Some of the things I did were quite questionable because I was so young and naive, but I feel like, I've just learned so much about myself moving abroad and just traveling.
So why do you think Morocco specifically as a destination is such a good choice for your first group trip?
So I think Morocco is so great because it's got everything in the space of 8 days. We're exploring like the Medinas in Marrakesh, we're going to the mountains, we're going to the desert, and we're going to the beach. I don't think there are many places where you can explore like all those different sort of settings in the space of a week. So I think that's really great. And I think also, as a woman, some countries you feel a little bit nervous traveling on your own. Like there are certain countries that maybe you'd prefer to go with a friend, with a partner, with family. And I think Morocco's one of them.
Couple quick fire questions then. Window or aisle seat?
Window.
Beach or mountains?
Can't decide. Has to be beach and mountains.
Backpack or suitcase?
Backpack.
Early flight or an overnight flight?
Depends. I think if it's a long haul flight, then overnight's good.
Yeah, it's just easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Street food or fine dining?
Street food, definitely.
Solo trip or group trip?
Group trip.
Woo! An all-inclusive or fully independent?
Fully independent.
Guidebook or winging it?
Winging it.
City break or nature retreat?
Nature retreat, yeah.
One place you'd move to tomorrow if you could?
Ooh. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say Spain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you speak Spanish?
See? Un poco.
What's one item you never travel without?
I'm not a light packer, so I have to travel with a lot.
Really?
So I don't know if I could pick one. My contact lenses.
Oh, nice. Natalia, it's been such a pleasure having you on the Departure Lounge today, so thank you very much. If people are interested in joining your Morocco trip or following along your new journey with Travels with Talia, where should we send them?
So you can send them to my Instagram page, Natalia Marie PT, and then in the link in my bio will be all the details for the trip. And thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun.
And thank you for listening. This has been Departure Lounge, and we'll see you next time.